Hi, I'm Anne Marie, member of the Sunfire Stable show team, with another installment of I Signed Up for the Show Team. What's next? Today my topic is spinal manipulation. My horse, a noble-looking Aristo BFH, you know is sweet, is going to have this done today. Dr. Tracy is going to be doing it, and I'm going to turn the tables on this one. I'm not going to shoot video so that you have to listen to what she's saying and maybe get a model of a horse or look at a picture of a horse and see what she's mentioning. So I'm going to flip the camera and I'm going to let her go. There you go.
Okay, so we're doing an exam. Right now I'm looking at his cranial nerves to see if things are even or not. So like his left eye is lower than the right. His right nostril is a little longer than the left. He's got the old scar on his right eye. And the rest of his, there we go, buddy. The rest of his face is even. He's got a left hip high. His sternum is slightly left. He's stiff in his lower cervicals. Moves pretty well. All right, so now I'm gonna just do a pulse and respiration and look at his pupillary light reflexes. So pupillary light reflex has to do with a couple different things. So like most people use the pupillary light reflex to see how the pupil constricts, which tells you various different cranial nerves, like the optic nerve is working and the oculomotor nerve are working, and sometimes it'll tell you if the facial nerve is working. But the other part is dilation, which tells us if our sympathetic nervous system, where that's at.
You wonder who figured all that stuff out. You know what I mean?
Yep. "15 on the left." So I'm just counting to see how long it takes for his pupil to dilate. And sympathetic is our flight or fight.
Mm-hmm.
So that tells us a couple different things. "14 on the other side." And so there is such a thing as over adjusting, where you can't actually put in too much input into the system. So these are some things we can look at that give us a couple numbers. So like if you were to say, for instance, there's a lion coming after you, that would kind of bring up your flight or fight.
Oh yeah.
Right? So first thing that we see sometimes is their hair will start to stand up.
Right.
Sometimes if you're on a cement floor, you'll see they'll start leaving footprints because they're sweating.
Through their feet?
Well, I shouldn't say they're sweating. It's a change in temperature.
So
you get moisture accumulating on the floor. And sometimes, so we always look to see if they're doing that anyways when we first start.
Right.
So that's one of the things that we notice. So heart rate's 36. So another thing that we would see if we're getting
You can't help
is your heart rate would go up.
Right.
So that's one of the reasons why we do that.
Sir.
Another thing would be your respiratory rate would increase.
Oh.
And then for the pupillary light reflex, that one actually decreases
When you're scared?
when you're scared, because you want to see the lion if it's coming to get you. So you have to dilate your.
Oh. Yeah. All this talk about lions. Yeah.
So his respiratory rate, he was sniffing before he.
He's
He
been
did that.
doing that kicking. And see,
When was the last time you had him cleaned?
in the fall.
Okay. So how long has he been kicking like that? Just today?
No, like
or-
the last couple weeks, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, Jacob said maybe he has a situation. You
Like
know,
a sheath?
of
or-
the beans or
Yeah,
something.
I was gonna say.
Oh,
So that would be something is, I don't know when.
Herd Health is me.
Yeah. So, but if he's really having a problem with it, then we can look at it sooner.
Well, you know,
Or-
they're coming to do teeth and Coggins on Friday.
Okay.
Maybe I could add him to that.
Yeah. And see about.
Oh, beans.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
But that or was 30, but he was sniffing, and then he let out his big whinny.
Yes, he did.
So. All right.
What a character.
So then the other part I like to do is to watch him move a
Okay.
bit. Just to see how things are
Right.
Sometimes that gives me some other clues. So Abby's gonna walk him out and back, and then we'll trot him out and back. And sometimes we'll, so you can see as he's walking, that left hip is higher than the right.
Yeah. Jacob said he felt tighter in his right, and he doesn't take his left lead very well. I did it today. He kept going wrong, and then I finally just kept him cantering on the wrong lead, and we did a simple lead change
Yep.
back there,
Okay.
and that worked really well. So that was good for him to get the feel of what it's. Oh, he's so cute.
So if you watch, his left rear kind of tends to go to the inside.
Okay.
He lands a little harder on that right front.
Good boy. Good boy. Yeah.
His life is difficult. Right, buddy? All right.
There was a really cute gypsy up there. There was a really cute little. Yeah, what does Dr. Tracy have?
What's that, huh? Is that some papers?
Yeah. I could eat it.
You're just looking for your friends, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Good boy.
Sir.
Yeah.
This has been gone for a little while.
We don't.
Okay, and then we're just gonna put mucous membranes. Big, moist. Alright, so I always start with the TMJ. 'cause
Okay.
your TMJ has the most kind of bang for your buck. Your TMJ feeds into your trigeminal system, which has a global effect on their body.
Okay.
So we're just gonna check a couple little spots here. So he's got an IO right on his temporal bone here. This is affecting his temporalis muscle. There we go. Good boy. Hi, buddy.
You are so handsome.
Checking the hyoids. motion. Nice forward to backward motion. I'm just doing a little traction here. I usually like that. And let it go, buddy. There it goes. Okay. He says, I'm gonna rub on you.
Yeah. Do you have treats?
So I'm just gonna do some craniosacral, check some craniosacral areas here. He's got an internal frontal on the right. So this is just, you have different plates in your head.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at it on a skull, they have what are called suture lines, and they look like little zippers.
Mm-hmm.
And it used to be, back in the day, when the top of the baby's head would kind of close up with those zippers, we used to say, oh, now the head is like cement and it's solid and
Right.
it doesn't
We can
move.
drop them.
It doesn't move, but
Right.
those zippers are actually have a joint capsule and joint fluid, and so they move just a little bit. It's not like an elbow.
But just
But they
enough
just-
to,
Yeah, we're talking like millimeters or fraction of millimeters.
Sure.
But it's enough that it sets up it, they say, pain or a source of, what they call a source of nociception can set up some muscles to fire more and some to fire less, which can be inappropriate.
right.
So that sets you up for injury if your muscles aren't firing like they're supposed to be. Ooh, okay, so that was range of motion, and he just adjusted S2 with range of motion, which is good. So
Good job. Licking.
So, yep. FC2. That's good because what we worked on his TMJ has such a global effect. It probably set that up that all we had to do was move it, and it adjusted on its own, because now what was pulling it out of where it was supposed to be.
Has now adjusted.
Yes.
Okay.
That's better. Yes, sir.
I mean, it's a domino effect, you know?
Right.
If the one domino is crooked, you know,
So this one is C4 on the right has an IO. So this is where there's a muscle. It's a little too tight. That was a nice whinny for when we were done with that one, and a licking at you.
watch your elbow. He was trying to bite this before. Great.
They're a little messy.
Uh-huh. He is. He is.
Yeah, so there we go. That's a nice. So now you can see like his head wobbles all the way.
Right.
Hang on, buddy. That's fine. So when the left hip is high, sometimes that's because there's something down below.
Okay.
Try not to put as much pressure on.
Oh.
So we just adjusted that hock.
Well, you know, I'm kind of a prime example with a new knee. You know, my
Uh-huh.
my body is so out of whack from compensating and
Yep.
recompensating
Yep.
and
Exactly it. And then he's got a tight piriformis muscle on this side,
on his right side.
on his right side.
Okay.
So if you palpate it, there's like, if you feel like right in here, there's like a big knot.
Right here.
Yeah, right there. It's not so much on this side.
Huh.
So
Yeah.
we're just gonna go along where that attaches. Hang on, buddy. Oh. So have you ever had sciatica?
Oh.
There we go.
Yeah, the first couple times I rode, I could not walk.
So sciatica is often because that muscle is too tight and sets them up for that. There
Oh.
we go. So I'm just walking along these areas where the muscle kind of inserts on these bones. And exhale. There we go. Thanks, Abby. Anytime.
Abby the helper.
Abby is a helper.
She is.
So I'm just coming along where this muscle, the muscle comes in, and
He's
there it
just
goes.
not for standing
Oh.
still.